Two dudes with attitudes, let's go. It's the two dudes and our attitudes ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. We're Ryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. The 5-star broadcast shit, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E. The two dudes with the attitudes to bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on, time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it poppin'.
It's Two Dudes with Attitudes, a wrestling podcast with your boy Ryan Enjoys Wrestling and the Heartbreak Dude Denton. And this is our AEW Fight Forever edition of Two Dudes. And we are going to cover all things Rampage, Collision, and Dynamite, where I think Swerve shined out this week. But yes, sir. So all you AEW fans, all you AEW hardcore, whatever you are, get ready because we're going to talk some stuff today. Right? You ready? You pumped for some AEW? What's going on? Come on.
Yeah.
We're away from All In, basically.
Yeah, it was AEW rocked this week. AEW was good this week.
They were.
This has been, they put their head down and they've been focusing on putting together a good show. And I think All In is going to be maybe one of their best shows ever because there's a lot of good stuff on the card.
And they did it this week basically without MJF, so which was kind of
that was pretty cool.
Interesting. It's probably why people didn't like the Dynamite. I liked it, but it's also very hard right now because Monday Night Raw is cooking, as the kids would say. It is cooking. And did you see this past one got like almost a 1.9 million rating or something like that? Like they're getting to like SmackDown territory on USA. That is insane. That's how you know the product is good when they're going up right now in the ratings and TV. So interesting stuff, and we'll get into some of that right now. Right? You got some news for us?
Some unfortunate news today. We opened up our WWE episode yesterday with the passing of Kevin Sullivan, and today, this morning, Afa Ananoa'i passed away, and he's best known. I know we're an AEW episode, but he's best known for his time with his brother Sika as the Wild Samoans, and so he's the other half of the Wild Samoans. They passed away within like a month and a half of each other. For people who don't know, Afa is Roman Reigns' uncle, and Roman Reigns' father passed away back in June, I think it was. So it's been just a sad time in wrestling, and they honored him. I watched SmackDown Live, and they honored him tonight on SmackDown. It was a nice little tribute. So it really unfortunate. He passed away at the age of he was 80. 80 years old.
Still young, man. That's young.
Yeah, especially for a pro wrestler. But yeah, his daughter reported on it this morning. His daughter Vale confirmed that he was originally the rumors went around last night that he had passed away, and then his daughter confirmed that he was still alive and he was just fighting, and that any updates regarding his health would come directly from her. And this morning it was announced that he had passed away, almost 2 months to the day after his brother Sika passed away. So,
man, tough for the bloodline and tough for everybody. And for Roman, man, that's two people extremely, extremely close to him that he just lost in a 2-month span, and the man's still doing his darn thing, man. You can forever give Roman props. This man went through cancer multiple times and wrestled through it, now losing fathers and uncles and so on, man. It's like condolences out to him. We love Roman on this show and everybody, and
absolutely.
One of the greatest tag teams of all time. Sad to lose them both. Very much so. So condolences out to the fam.
Big time. So yeah. And then back to AEW, making it they had some big news this week that All In next year is coming to the United States of America. It's going to be at
thank you, MJF.
It's going to be at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas, which is the home of the Texas Rangers. So it's not at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. It's at the Texas Rangers Stadium, which holds about 40,000 people to capacity. but they could probably add some seats down on the floor and that kind of thing and make it a little bit more. But the arena itself, or the stadium itself, has a retractable roof, so in case it rains, they can close the roof. But it has about, apparently sometimes it does, but
the Rangers are still a team. Okay, keep going.
Yeah. But yeah, they I think, didn't they win the World Series? I think they did.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah.
They're really good. I'm an Angels fan, so I try to poop on everyone because we're the worst. But yeah.
Oh yeah. Poor Mike Trout, man. That guy can't stay healthy anymore. But
he's the CM Punk of baseball.
but yeah, so All In next year is coming to the United States. And then there was a press conference yesterday that, so I was really confused because the press release says that we are thrilled for Arlington to partner with All Elite Wrestling for their biggest event of the year, said Jim Ross in a release. And I was like, wait, huh? JR? But turns out that the Arlington mayor is also named Jim Ross. So that's what made sense.
Oh.
So I was a little confused at first. And then, so fans from around the world will converge on our beautiful city to be a part of AEW All In Texas, delivering a significant economic windfall to the region. And then Tony Khan did announce there was a little press event. Mercedes Moné was there. I think Swerve Strickland was there. And Tony Khan, of course, was there. And Tony Khan did say that AEW All In 2026 will be going back to Wembley Stadium. So who knows? To me, this makes me think that SummerSlam is going to Wembley next year, and that's why they had to boot AEW out temporarily so they could make room for SummerSlam, because WWE in London have been like trying to work on something apparently, and John Cena was at Money in the Bank last year trying to get a WrestleMania there. So it makes me wonder if they are going to do a PLE in London, and if it's going to be SummerSlam, and SummerSlam is usually in August, which is the same time as All In. So who knows?
So I have a lot of takes. Are you ready? You ready?
Yeah. Oh, and the date has changed. The date has changed on this too. So instead of it being August 24th, like it usually has been, it's now next July the 12th, 2025. And they didn't really mention anything about All Out. So we don't know if All Out is still 2 weeks after, or if All Out is going to be at the end of August in the All In slot, or if it's still going to be Labor Day weekend. They didn't really talk about that very much. So
I mean, it was a week away last year, which was stupid.
Yeah.
2 weeks is stupid. Who has $120 in 2 weeks to cough up for an AEW event? Here's my take. Number one.
Go for it.
Angel Stadium. I think they probably fit around the same amount of people, right? It's a baseball stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I watched Monster Jam there, and that place is filled seat to seat. So, number one, it ain't going to be hard to fill a baseball stadium. People are making this like it's like the biggest thing ever. I've heard all these people like, oh, they're going to Ireland. Oh, this is like AEW is moving up and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And let's slow it down. Here's the thing, right? We have to stop calling All In their WrestleMania. All In is not their WrestleMania. All In was a big deal because they went to Wembley, which is a big wrestling area, right? And they don't get a lot of wrestling out there. So they were super stoked to get it. And they filled 90-something thousand allegedly, right? So props to them. Huge, right? It was an amazing feat. People didn't think they can do it. They did it. So what did Tony Khan think? That it was their WrestleMania. So fast forward, how many seats they got this year? 40,000? Same arena?
40,300. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And now all of a sudden they're moving to Texas? Okay. So this doesn't sound like winning to me, number one. Number two, last year's All In was a dud. And I know people say it was like the best card ever, but everyone got hurt. The card got changed a bunch, correct? It was like a hot mess going into it. They added in way too, like, that was the CM Punk thing.
Yeah, Jack Perry. Yeah.
The card was a hot mess. And so I think that also played into people not wanting to go this year. This year's All In is a WrestleMania type event. But the problem is every year going to be like that or is it not? So here's what I'm saying. I'm not poo-pooing on it. I think AEW going anywhere is fantastic. But just because Tony Khan booked the stadium means nothing. You're aware that you can book anywhere, right? And there's events all the time they get booked and then they don't fill it and it gets canceled, or they only fill it up to a certain capacity. So what I'm asking you is that AEW has a pay-per-view. They usually seat what, 8,000 people? Okay.
Something like
did you
that.
hear?
Yeah.
Did you know that this week's Collision sat like 900 people?
Yeah. I heard
900 people. 900. This last Collision that we're reviewing had 900 people. 900. Think about how much money was lost. 900 people. You can get $900 at 900 people at a local high school football event. Okay, so now you got to think about their dynamites. What are they averaging? Like 2,000 people an event?
Yeah, around that. Yeah.
So you tell me why their pay-per-views max out around 7 and 8. They have 900 at a Collision. They can only get about 3,000 max at a Dynamite. You think they're going to fit 40,000 in the States? So what makes Texas like important? What makes that like Wembley? I think they sat Wembley because it was an event. They were going there. They don't go a lot. They don't travel a lot. And when you travel as wrestling, people are excited because they don't get it. So yeah, they're going to fill the damn seats. They still got 40,000, which is awesome. But don't you think it's an outlier? And for people that don't know what an outlier is, statistics where you don't take a number because it's an outlier, so it'll mess up the average, right? So that's just, you don't count it. So am I poo-pooing on it, or do you think they can put 40,000 in Arlington, or do you see them doing 20,000 and still calling it an accomplishment because at that time they're only going to have 30 people in there? Like I don't see them filling 40,000 in Texas. I'm not saying they can't. Anything can change in a year. I'm not saying they can't, but these AEW people are on here like, this is a win. We're back. People say we're no. Just because Tony Khan, a billionaire, booked an arena does not mean anyone can book an arena. Eric Bischoff just talked about on 83 Weeks that our Conrad did, that they booked multiple arenas in WCW in 94, and they all got canceled. They were booked. They booked them. They tried to sell them. They only sold 1,000 seats, and so they canceled it, right? That happens to artists all the time that aren't Taylor Swift. All the time you'll hear artists, Justin Timberlake, other people will book this huge arena, and then they have to move down to the smaller one, right? They'll think they can build at SoFi, then they go to the Forum because they don't get enough people. That happens all the time. Just because it happened in
WWE just 2 years ago with they booked money
Vegas.
Yeah, they did Money in the Bank. Yeah, and then they moved it to So it happens to the big boys.
That was WWE. Well, in WWE that was when they were like in the AEW mode right now, where people are starting to fill their shit, and we were crapping on them when we did our I think we were doing a podcast then. I think so. And we were
they moved it. Yeah, they moved it from a stadium to an arena.
From the Raiders to the T-Mobile. Yep, where the hockey players, where Golden Knights play. Yes, sir. So what do you think? I mean, you think I'm off, or do you think I'm going to eat? I mean, I'm not saying they can't. I'm just saying we're acting like this is like guaranteed.
I think you're onto something. I do think, because AEW is so well known here in the U.S. and it's not well known for the right reasons, unfortunately. But whereas in London, they're always going to have a great crowd. I mean, they're going to, they never. I have a feeling that this London crowd, while the tickets may not be as much as they were, or as the ticket sales may not be as high as they were last year, this crowd's going to be loud. This crowd's going to be vocal. This crowd's going to be excited to see some pro wrestling. Meanwhile, in the U.S., everybody is, everybody's aware of AEW. We see it all the time. And so that's my only concern, like if they can fill this arena. So I'm really hoping that in the next year, AEW does some things to change its marketing plan, change its advertising structure, change the way, because their television product is fine. But the problem is nobody watches it. Nobody goes to the events. So you got to figure out a way to loop people, to get people to want to go, and then get them to want to go to these events, these big events, these stadium shows. And one thing you could do is lower the price. You want to be the alternative to WWE. You shouldn't be paying WWE prices to go to a AEW Dynamite or even All In next year. Like, those tickets should not be as expensive as TKO tickets are. So there's one way you can do that right there. And then, but who knows what this year can mean? I mean, they need some better marketing, and they need to go to smaller venues where they can fill them up, and then just generate that buzz again about AEW. And so I think you're onto something, because if the trajectory they're on right now, they're not going to sell 40,000 tickets next year. But if they can change some things around, maybe they can.
Yeah, and I hope they do. I want AEW to thrive. I love them. And here's the thing, right? They should sell. We should be able to go to this event next year. We should be able to go together, meet in Texas. They need to be sitting ringside seats at about 200 or less. They need to start there and then work their way up. We should be able to get into that event for $50, enjoy a seat. This should not be, and that's how they'll win. Like you said, these people are overpricing everything. Secondly, I think the problem with AEW, it's not the talent. It's not the
No.
wrestling. It's in a sense, it's the, here's the thing, right? Back in the days, there was the UFC and there was Pride. And this is exactly what WWE and AEW is. UFC was Americanized mixed martial arts. Pride was Japanese martial arts, and it didn't really work in the United States. The people that wanted to see it were a very slim crowd who were into that kind of stuff, but everybody wanted to see the Americanized mixed martial arts. WWE is the Americanized pro wrestling. AEW is trying to book like New Japan Pro Wrestling, and there's a reason why New Japan Pro Wrestling is in Japan, because it's it's catered. It's two different, I don't know, fan base. You know what I mean? I'm not saying there aren't fans in the United States who love New Japan. I'm saying they're minimal. So AEW just needs to start booking more. Tony Khan needs to wake up, realize what country he's in, and book it like an American show. I'm not saying be WWE. I'm just saying book it more for your American fan base. That's why the ratings are gone. Where did they thrive? When CM Punk was around, MJF was in this prime. They had stories.
Cody Rhodes. Yeah.
They had stories. That's when they were hitting 1 million. Once Cody left, they fired Punk. It all went down. MJF can't even save them right now.
And that's the other thing too. We talk about the roster. They do need to get their roster in check. I mean, they've got to stop with these backstage fights and these kerfuffles.
Well,
because that just, I mean, the company's been through enough already, and that further smears it. And I think people talk more about that than they do about the in-ring stuff, and it just kind of it takes the wind out of your sail. When this kind of stuff happens. So and who knows, man? I mean, Shane McMahon could come, and maybe that's the reason that Tony Khan was talking to Shane McMahon, and he can work with him on booking booking in the U.S. because he is a McMahon, and he is a businessman, and he knows things that Vince even didn't know. So maybe that could work. Maybe he could bring in Scott D'Amore from TNA to kind of run things and help with his television product. So we have a year. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. But right now, if All In was today, if All In was next week and it was in Texas and they didn't sell 40 and they only had like 20,000 tickets sold, it would be a disaster. So, I
mean, they only got 40 in Wembley. So, I mean, how are they going to get 40 in Texas? Yeah. So, but once again, rooting for them. All right. You ready to get into it? Move this show forward?
Yeah, let's do it.
That was it, right? I think so. All right,
nothing else. Yeah.
All right. As always, we're going to do Rampage Collision. I'll break both shows, but we're going to do it as one. Are you ready?
Always, man.
It's a jam-packed Rampage Collision. All right.
It was.
Rampage. Darby Allin defeats the Butcher. The Butcher's like the house loser of Rampage. Don Callis yells at Roosh for losing, and he'll face Preston Vance at Collision. Wheeler Yuta defeats Rocky Romero. Willow is upset about Statlander, and she talks to Ishii. Private Party defeat Zayn and Dave Dawson. Dustin Rhodes wants the ROH tag titles. Why not? And Saraya defeats Nyla Rose in the main event. Collision, we got Darby Allin again, this time with Hologram. And they defeat the premier athletes. Thunder Rosa defeats Deonna Purrazzo in a bloody-ass Texas bull rope match on a Collision. Y'all, Collision was like a pay-per-view. They were just giving their bodies out. FTR defeats the Outrunners. Kip Sabian and Nick Wayne talk, and they will fight at Rampage next week. Roosh defeats Vance. There it goes. After Roosh attacks him some more, the Jack Perry Breakin' TV's video is shown without a Taco Bell commercial this time. Good on them. I actually thought it was better the first time. Swerve out for an open challenge, and it's Ishii, who Swerve then defeats. Claudio wants Okada's belt. Statlander and Stokely versus Willow and Ishii. Ishii's popular at 0 Hour. Top Flight versus MXM Collection next week. Shida wins a squash match. Bryan Danielson with a sit-down Jim Ross interview this time, and he talks about needing neck surgery. That's about all I got out of it. Shida challenges Mercedes Moné at Dynamite, and in the main event, House of Black and the Bang Bang Gang are in a double KO when Christian Cage as the ref double KOs them both. After the match, the Patriarchy beat down everybody and pose as the champs to close the show, and that's the Rampage Collision review. What you got, homie?
Yeah, I thought Collision was solid. It was a solid episode of Collision. Rampage was good. I love Christian Cage. I can't say that enough. But I mean, him dressed as that referee, that was a better referee outfit for Christian Cage than what Seth Rollins wore to
Thank you.
To SummerSlam. I mean, the turtleneck, and it was just gold. And then him just being the dastardly heel. He's counting fast, and then he spears Buddy Matthews, and then counts to 10, and it's a double count out. It was just a beautiful way to end the show. I mean, this guy is great. Christian Cage, he's the heart and soul of Collision, in my opinion. His stuff is the most watchable, the most enjoyable, and the most fun on that show.
Oh, wait till we get the Dynamite. He had a great segment on that. He's just the heart and soul of everything. And I feel like right now, that's what Tony Khan is doing right, correct? I mean, we didn't have MJF for whatever reason. I mean, they had that like little video they did, which they usually do to give these people a week off. But I mean, you have a lot of Christian Cage, a lot of Darby Allin. We got a lot of, Swerve Strickland. He was on Collision. We got a lot of this. Hangman Page is back. I feel like he's trying to get that old AEW vibe back. But no, Christian Cage, not only hilarious, because he did keep it down the middle the whole time. And then he was like, nah, I'm over this. Double KO. And let's move on with our lives. Great stuff by him. And yeah, you're right. That turtleneck
so good
shirt was amazing. Dude still looks good, man. He's like 10 years older than I am. The dude looks
he's
phenomenal.
Yeah. But we going back to what we were talking about earlier, stuff that AEW can do right. Market your talent. Swerve, Darby, Jack Perry, the Young Bucks, MJF. I mean, you've got it there. So I was really annoyed when another New Japan guy answered Swerve Strickland's open challenge. I don't know what I was expecting. I was maybe expecting like a return of somebody from AEW, maybe like a Wardlow or somebody along those lines, another AEW original. But like, this is the stuff that people are not interested in. And I love New Japan wrestling, and I want New Japan to thrive. It's not that I have a problem with them, but a lot of people don't know. If you don't watch New Japan, which I don't watch New Japan regularly, I have no idea who Tomohiro Ishii is. And
he's been on AEW a few, but I mean,
but other than that, like, I've never seen him. I don't follow his career, and someone will give me a history lesson about it on TikTok later. But
but
you'll
get one.
But like, why are we doing that? Swerve having an open challenge in an eliminator match, it's a good way to build another young star, to get people interested in your product and get people interested in AEW. And instead you're relying on another company to do it. And that's the stuff that's not going to get them to 40,000 people in Texas next year, in my opinion.
No, it's not. And not only that, but like, where's, Powerhouse Hobbs? Where is Wardlow? Why is MJF and Will Ospreay taking a week off? They have so many wrestlers. Is Ricky Stark still around? What's going on with, like, you have all these wrestlers who aren't being utilized, but yet we have time to constantly have ROH and New Japan and CMLL and other people just wasting time on our TV screens. And it's like driving me bananas. Dude, Tony Khan, stop catering to that person that's going to write, Ryan, a Wikipedia page, encyclopedia memo, right? Like, stick to this is what I'm saying. Book to your American audience. If you want to book a Japanese pro wrestling company, Tony Khan, take AEW to Japan. I guarantee it'll work better. If you're going to stay here in the States and try to be on TBS or wherever you're Warner, what you're doing, you got to make it Americanized, and you got to have these type of wrestlers on your show. You can't just be having guest appearances all the time, because you're also not helping your brand. Ishii's not here for the long run. Why is he having a competitive match with Swerve? Please explain. Swerve struggled against this guy. That's your world champ. About to retire Bryan Danielson. You have this guy struggling. Like, it's mind-boggling. To say the least.
I do not understand it. I don't get it. And then, like, why, like you said, why is Swerve struggling against him? And why not bring Bryan Danielson out in this match and, like, put Swerve at a disadvantage somehow and kind of tease to that. I mean, the fact all we got was that pre-tape thing with JR and Bryan Danielson when Swerve was wrestling on TV. It was just kind of like, there's an opportunity here to do something to get more excitement about this. But
I agree. Really quick, last two things before we move on is that, one, Darby Allin, he needs to stop treating every match like it's a pay-per-view or a WrestleMania. This dude is he was wasting his body on a Rampage. Like the Rampage was viewed by 40,000 people, and he's like falling on his neck and back off of ropes and doing these things and matches. And we got Thunder Rosa and Deonna Purrazzo having a banger on a Collision with 900 people watching. They're like cutting each other open, and we gotta slow this down. We gotta slow it down though.
Yeah,
right.
No,
I mean, this is why I don't get excited for their pay-per-views. Like, am I excited for All In? Yeah. Am I going to see something I've never seen? Absolutely not. I'm going to see everything I see on Dynamite. They're going to bleed. They're going to hit each other with chairs. They're going to light each other on fire. Bada bing, bada boom. I got it. Like, this is why you need to save stuff. It's like anything, right? This is why like porn stars don't enjoy having sex, right? Because they do it for a living. You can't have too much of anything, right? People with too much money tend to not like it. You can't have too much of anything in life, and you can't just continue to do everything you're going to do and then do it on your big event and then expect people to be in awe of it. You gotta like know the differences between Rampage, Collision, Dynamite, and a pay-per-view and book accordingly. WWE does it. You got to know how to do that. But one last thing, we need to stop putting Bryan Danielson on the announce booth table. This dude is cringe. If I have to hear him throughout a match of Wheeler Yuta again tell me every move that Wheeler Yuta does, that's what they did up in practice. We were studying the tapes. That's what we did in practice. Oh, he's about to do this headlock. We worked it in practice. Oh, the submission thing right here. Yeah, we were working that in practice. Oh my God, this thing that he did right here. He bounced off the rope. Yeah, we worked it. Oh, he's getting his ass beat. We worked that in practice, and he's gonna then do another.
You talk about practice, man.
Yeah, dude. He does it gets on the mic and says the same exact thing over and over again. So we studied in practice. You guys didn't study it in practice. Shut up, Bryan Danielson. Just do the match. Just say the match. Yeah, and then watch your boy get beat down and enjoy it. We'll talk about that next. But anyway, that's my last 2 cents on Rampage Collision. If you got anything else, or we can move on.
Yeah, I was just going to add more about the Deonna Purrazzo Thunder Rosa match because I enjoyed that match. I thought it was fun. I thought it was entertaining. It was a banger. But these girls have been feuding for the last like 2 or 3 months, and you have your big show next week. You couldn't put this match on that card. I mean, they deserve it. They deserve to go to London. Poor Thunder Rosa is probably going to end up like going to London to cover the event as part of Busted Open instead of wrestling at the event. But man, like she deserved. Like both of them have been putting out. They've been putting in the work lately. Yep. And your women's division is thriving. And you could have 3 women's matches to market and showcase to the London audience. One of them not involving a championship. Yeah, it was missed opportunity not putting it on your biggest show of the year. But it was a great match. Don't get me wrong. I loved every second of it.
But that means nothing because nobody saw it. That didn't bring in ratings on Collision, and it should have because I enjoyed every second of that match. All right, Dynamite time. You ready? A lot happened on here. Woo! Let's
it was a good episode.
Go. It really was. All right, Mercedes Money defeats Sheeta. After the match, Britt Baker goes after Money, but Camille makes the save after beating up a fan. Hangman Page jumps Double J and Lethal backstage, and then Hangman defeats Lethal in a match. MJF attacks Will Ospreay's friend at a London event. Boom, boom. No one gives a shit. Pac says he'll wait for his title shot, the one that he wanted at Wembley. He's going to wait. He's cool with it. Whatever happens, bruv. Darby Allin says he was poor and Jack Perry wasn't. Darby out for a match, but Perry hits him with a knee on the ramp. Perry takes him to the back and drops a metal door on his ribs and attempts to murder him, but security gets in the way. Mariah May burns all her Tony Storm gear, and she says they'll both die at All In. All right. Thelma and Louise style, I guess. They're going to hold hands, get in a car, drive off a cliff. No one even understands that reference. Orange Cassidy wins a 3-way, because it's not gay when it's in a 3-way, to earn the #1 spot in the Casino Gauntlet match. Claudio and Okada have a face-to-face. Claudio is serious. Okada is not. Claudio wants serious Rainmaker Okada. Christian Cage says he'll find a new team to battle them for the trios titles, and he'll win all the titles at the same time. Let's go. He then yells at Renee. Hook is out with one eye, and he'll face Chris Jericho at Wembley for the FTR title belt, but it's his last shot. The Young Bucks and the Acclaim end in a DQ when FTR attack the Young Bucks. Christopher Daniels fumbles his words for the 15th time. And I think he basically says FTR and Acclaim winner faces Young Bucks at Wembley. I think is what he said. I don't know. He's all over the place. Has this guy ever talked before? I feel like he's been in the wrestling world.
Yeah, he's been famous. He's great on the mic.
Why can he not talk on AEW? I don't get it. After the match, in the main event, Swerve Strickland defeats Wheeler Yuta. Surprise, surprise. After the match, Swerve literally beats the crap. I think he pukes himself out of him while Danielson legitimately watches. He sits there and watches Wheeler Yuta get the snot beat out of him. Then he decides to help. Swerve runs up the ramp and tells Danielson that that's going to be him at Wembley, but in front of his family. And then he gives Danielson a house call and does the yes pose to close the show. And that's the end of Dynamite. I made it sound like it wasn't as great, but it was really good.
It was a good episode.
Some of the stuff's just so silly. Silly.
Like Jack Perry attacking Darby Allin and demanding a coffin match at the...
Oh yeah, I did. I didn't say they got the coffin match. Yeah, I forgot about.
Like
that.
why is the heel kind of dictating what kind of match that they get? Like it should be the babyface wants the coffin match, and the heel's like, no, not at all. I don't want that. No, why would I want that? But I don't know.
Also, is the Undertaker okay with this? I didn't know we can just have coffin matches. Is this like a normal thing on AEW?
Apparently, it's like Darby Allin's signature. He's done them before with Sting and House of Black.
Oh, yeah, he did, but that's Undertaker's the casket match. You can't call it a coffin match. And why did Jack Perry want that?
I don't get it either. Because the last time he was in one, he was against Christian Cage and he got buried.
Oh, he did. They have had coffin matches.
Yeah,
you are right. That's right. He wants his revenge. I do like in his stupid Darby Allin promo that he brought up. He's like, nobody cares about a jungle boy or whatever and this. But I did think it was stupid that he was like, I was living in a gutter and you were having a rich dad pay for you to go through school. And then I was living in a gutter some more and you were in AEW. And then I got in AEW. So I'm better than you because I was poor and you had an advantage. No, that's not how it works, bro. Like you had a good story and I appreciate you. And I think it's awesome that you used to be homeless and now you're a mediocre wrestler. But to say the least, like that doesn't make Jack Perry any less of you two are almost at the same exact level. The only difference is Jack Perry cares about his life. It's like the only difference between those two. Same body, same weight, same moves.
Yeah, but I will say too that this week they did a good job of the video packages of a lot of like the Mariah May, Tony Storm, Jack Perry, Darby Allin did their stuff. MJF and Will Ospreay had a cool promo segment. Video package, and then Bryan Danielson Swerve. So the 4 big matches at the show, they really hyped them up with a lot of videos and everything. It was good. That's the kind of stuff you got to keep doing. I did enjoy those.
Did you say Mariah May too? The burning and all that. That was
all of that. Yeah,
it was all really, really, really good. Where do you want to? You know what? I want to talk about Swerve. We're gonna talk about Swerve for a second.
Yeah, sure.
I want to say something about because before we got on, we were talking about WWE guys who have come over and they've all failed. And you said that Swerve Strickland is one that succeeded. And it's always weird to me because I don't count him as that because I just feel like he never really got going in WWE. So is he really a WWE guy when, it's like these other dudes who were in WWE were successful, then they come over.
Yeah.
Like I don't consider Jericho a WWE guy who came over or Christian because they were already kind of like floating around, gone, and then they went to AEW. But I'm talking about dudes who like, Adam Copeland and Adam Cole and all these that like, Mercedes money that, were basically coming over and just have been unsuccessful. But Swerve Strickland, I have to say, he has to be the most underrated and underappreciated wrestler in wrestling today. Mm-hmm. This man wrestles Will Ospreay and he does Will Ospreay moves. This man wrestles Hangman Page, and he wrestles Hangman Page in Hangman Page's style. This man wrestles Wheeler Yuta and has a submission, specialist, slow match. This man is, I think, the pro wrestling magician. This man can wrestle anybody. This isn't like when you have a John Cena match, you're going to get a John Cena match. When you have a Will Ospreay match, you're going to get a Will Ospreay match. When you wrestle Swerve Strickland, he is different in every single match he does. And I don't think people notice it. And I don't think people this man needs to be appreciated a lot more. I would even go off right now to say, I think Swerve Strickland, pure in the ring ability is top 3, bro. Top
Yeah,
3.
I can see that. Yeah, I think that's fair.
You know what you're getting out of people's matches, even the best in the world. You know what I mean? You know what you're getting. So
yeah,
you don't know that with Swerve.
yeah. No, Swerve is he's killing it right now, and I'm digging the matches. I'm liking his character work as well. Did he turn heel at the end of Collision there, doing the mock yes thing and everything there? Just I don't know.
So that's the other thing I wanted to say about Swerve. He's the only wrestler too that it doesn't matter. One
Yeah,
day
he doesn't
he's a
care.
babyface, next day he's heel, and he's not like MJF and Stone Cold where it was like anti-authority. No, he's legit just like, I'm a babyface, I'm gonna do babyface things. Now I'm gonna do straight heel things 2 weeks later. He's a heel right now, 100%. He's the heel going into this, and no one cares.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff, man. And I'm digging everything. And Swerve is one of the top 3 wrestlers, and he does change his style based on who he's competing with. He man is so underrated and unappreciated, and he could wrestle a mop and make it look fun.
Do you see that flip he did against Ishii in Collision?
Yeah.
He straight just like did a straight flip over the ropes, just like landed like dude.
He's so athletic.
No, like because even like Will Ospreay has 10 moves. You know what I mean? That he does every match. Swerve does. Every single match is different. You don't know what you're going to get with Swerve.
He changes it
weird.
up, and
that's not like a lot of people.
Yeah, he is very good at what he does, and even the Ishii match, he was wrestling kind of more that New Japan style, which a lot of guys would bring the AEW style on, and Swerve is killing it right now. He is, and this story with him and Danielson, I'm really digging it. I'm digging all of it. I think it's the career versus title thing is a good build. The build for it's been great. I have no idea who's going to win. I could see it going Swerve winning. I could see it going Bryan Danielson winning. I can see it ending in like a double count out or something. Like I could see it going any kind of way. And that's what I want. I don't want predictability is not always a bad thing, but I also do like a little bit of unpredictability. And I feel like there's a lot of unpredictability right now.
If Swerve beats Bryan Danielson at All In, he's got to be the best AEW champion of all time.
Oh yeah.
I think his run is better than MJF's and
it has to be
Kenny Omega, and those are the only 2 I think that had good runs. So yeah,
it has to be.
All right, what else you want to tell? A lot of stuff happened.
Yeah, what else happened? Okay, let's just get the negative out of the way, and then we'll go. Can we? I love Hook. He is like another guy that they should be marketing and building and booking like a stud and kind of pushing towards the American audience. But he's been in AEW now for what, 3 years, 4 years, and he hasn't won any other title besides a title that doesn't even exist, the FTW Championship. So that's number 1. But number 2, get him off the microphone. Like, I'm sorry. I love the kid. He is good. He could kick my ass. Like I wouldn't want to get in a fight with Hook. But like, give him a mouthpiece. Give him his dad. His dad's been involved in this story with Chris Jericho. When Jericho comes out, Taz has to leave. Jericho has him escorted out. So make Taz his so they've kind of already alluded to it. So make Taz his mouthpiece or something. But keep Hook off the microphone, because that segment was atrocious.
Well, even Jericho, this gimmick with Jericho is all. I've never said Jericho was bad. He's just bad. The learning tree is
bad.
Stupid.
Yeah.
And Hook was look at my eye, man. Like,
and it was like
this one.
Yeah, this one still works.
Yeah, I don't get it. Oh, it still works. You were waiting to say it. Got it.
Yeah.
But he's also not I'm sorry. I know you said he could probably kick both our asses. I get that. But he's also like 4'8". He's not. It's like CM Punk acting like don't act like a tough guy, Hook. That's not. I don't like when these little guys, because like him sitting next to Big Bill. Are you kidding me? I'm supposed to believe that? Like,
yeah. No,
it's hard.
Yeah, but and Jericho's stuff was bad. Like, because Jericho was like, he was like, "Hi guys," doing the learning tree thing, and then he like broke that character, and went back into like the Jericho of old. And then he was like, "Okay, thanks, Hook." Like it was just really weird. I didn't like it. I did like Hook's line about "You'll never ever be the same again." I did like that.
He should have said again, but he.
I think he meant that in him. Yeah, he's only like 15, so he wasn't alive when Jericho cut that promo. So he's probably like, "What do you mean again? The word is again."
15.
But
He looks like he's 8, but yeah.
Yeah, he really does. But yeah, that segment, like, let's just get rid of that and get Hook off the microphone.
I want to say too that I'm actually excited for Darby Allin and Jack Perry. I know I was pooping on it and everything else, but they've had a good little run. And I know the whole Jack Perry thing, kneeing him and whoever, I feel sorry for whoever Darby Allin was supposed to wrestle. The guy was like, "I'm ready to go, coach." And then it was like, "Oh,
put me in, TK."
But but gently putting a cage on somebody's ribs that's not even heavy and then having them like pretend like they're dying, and then he was going to try to attempted murder him by running his head over. And then I don't know what's going on in AEW. They want to burn each other to death and run each other's heads over. Like he's doing his best to do the Attitude Era. I'll give him that much. But with that said, I am looking forward to this match. I think it's going to be a banger. I like that it's 2 of the 4 pillars going at it. I'm glad they're both finally getting something out of them. I think they're trying too hard with Jack Perry as well. Jack Perry being the scapegoat, he's not a tough guy. I don't want to see Jack, like that TV thing was like, am I supposed to be like, oh, Jack Perry, like, don't hurt me. Like, Darby Allin and Jack Perry aren't, once again, in real life, maybe. They're probably pretty big dudes, but in wrestling, they're not. Like, if I stood next to a wrestler, I'm going to look scrawny. I'm 6'1", 185 pounds. I'm going to look like a baby. You know what I mean? Like, these wrestlers are just so much bigger and badder than them. Like, they're not tough guys, but you just got to have different characters. You know what I mean? I'm okay with him being the scapegoat. The scapegoat should be more whiny and bitchy than he should be, like tough guy. Yeah. And I'm going to murder. Like, I don't know. I just don't like the way, but I know I just crapped on everything, but I am excited because they've been giving it a lot of time. They are getting attention. I want to see them both wrestle. I've always thought they were the lower of the of the pillars. So let's see what they got and let's see who, goes forward. I think Jack Perry wins. I don't think Darby Allin could win and then go get a title shot later on, but maybe I'm wrong. But speaking of, can we talk about the Elite, by the way?
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
Go ahead, because we can fade into the Acclaim. What happened to them?
That's what I was going to ask you. Like, we had Jack Perry was at his best when he was with the Elite. They had that hot angle with Tony Khan where Tony Khan's wearing the neck brace and he's on the NFL draft with, like, it's the talk of the town. And then they do the blood and guts. First they have the Team AEW match at Dynasty or Forbidden Door or something. And then they did it at
Elite one.
Yeah, the Elite one. Then they kept it going for a little bit, but then they kind of everybody just went away. And then they did the blood and guts match and Team AEW won. And then that's it. Like, it's
1-1 by the way.
They don't even. But then we get the Elite together, and they don't even talk about it. They're not even mentioning it. It's just like it's almost like it never even happened. Tony Khan's back there making matches. Christopher Daniels is still there for some reason. Like, who's running the show at AEW right now? I cannot figure. Yeah, it's Christopher Daniels. I had a hard time with the EVP gimmick with the Elite, but I do kind of miss it because, like, finish the story, right? Like with Cody Rhodes, like, finish the story. Like, it feels like the story was left just kind of incomplete. Okay, well, they lost it, blood and guts, and that's it. Now that they're still EVPs, they can still run the show. They're still, what happened to the power that they had? I don't get it.
Well, it all just disappeared. Okada's just let him alone feuding with Claudio. Jack Perry just ditched. He's feuding with Darby Allin. And then the Young Bucks were literally doing nothing. And I think that showed. They won the tag team belts and have done absolutely nothing with it.
This was their first. They won the tag titles back in March at Revolution when I was there on March 4th and or March 3rd rather. And then this is their first defense of those tag team titles.
And how does the match end? And it ends in a no contest DQ in the first title defense. And I think the crowd was dead. They didn't care. They didn't want anything to do with the Young Bucks because, like you said, they haven't been on TV. They haven't defended. They haven't really doing the Elite thing. And then they just randomly show up and I'm supposed to care about them. No one gave a crap. And then FTR interrupts and they're like paused and not knowing what they're doing. And then they do it. And then the match is called and then the Acclaimed. And then Christopher Daniel gets a weird promo. That was the only miss to me on all of Dynamite because the match itself was good. But it was just,
the match was great.
It was too... I just didn't feel right. The crowd hated it. And that's sad too, because the Acclaim right now are hot again. They're getting there again. And then we just kind of had this. I think that's what worries me about Jack Perry is that I think they will take his belt away because I think the Bucks are about to, I think the Elite are gone. I think we're obviously done with it. But AEW also gets rid of factions. Like the BCC are together. then they're not. They're
Yeah.
together, then they're
Yeah.
not. They're together,
Undisputed
then they're not.
Kingdom.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, they're are they still a thing? I don't know.
Apparently, but who knows? But yeah, I don't understand what's going on with the Elite.
Yeah.
Because it was like the hot story, and then they just dropped it, and it's kind of sad. That's been my problem with AEW, right? They start stories and then they can't, like, people say they AEW doesn't tell stories. No, they do. They just don't execute them well. They don't finish them. They don't.
Yep.
They just drop them, and then we get no climax. We get no ending. We get nothing.
Yeah.
We're just kind of like, huh? And then that's it.
Yeah.
And then they move on to other things.
Well, it was even the opening, like with Mercedes Money, like Britt Baker came out, but she like took way too long.
Yeah, putting on her gloves while she's
and the crowd, and then I think Mercedes turned too early, and she was still putting on her glove, and then she was like, "Oh, hi," and then went, and then the other girl could see her because she has already done. She's been beating up the fan for 45 minutes, and then she like tries to put her in, and instead of the girl just beating her up, she just pulls. It was that thing too. It was like, once again, a good idea. You want Britt to try to get her hands on her and not be able to, just executed poorly. And I think I was okay with FTR interfering. It was just done poorly. It was like everything was right. It just was executed wrong. I don't know if AEW is too fast or what it is, but sometimes they're hitting, but they still miss. Like I love this Dynamite. Everything got me excited for All In. Everything. Mercedes Britt did. Shoot, the Hangman stuff going on right now did. The MJF promo, Darby and Jack. I mean, the tag team division, the main event, the closing of this time, it was fantastic. Even, Hook, whatever, but at least they're pushing stories for Wembley. They're building up to the matches. It just, like you said, the Hook thing was like not executed right either. Like I had the good idea, but then
a lot of poor execution.
Yeah, just poor execution. Correct.
Yeah, that's my issue with Dynamite right now. And then going back to the Hangman thing, like, to me, I think he's the X factor in this whole Swerve Bryan Danielson thing too. So I do like what they're doing with Hangman Page, because he's trying to get back to trying to get back to Swerve. He wants Swerve. He's going after Swerve. And as much as I don't want to see Jeff Jarrett on our screen, I feel like the way they've been using him recently is exactly how they should be using him. And if this is going to lead to Hangman Page versus Jeff Jarrett at All In with his beatdown of Jay Lethal this week, then you know what? I'm kind of for it, because again, it's not going to be a long match. Hangman Page is going to just run through him. Jeff Jarrett's going to put him over, and it's going to kind of tell a story and kind of get us ready for that next level. So I do like how they've been using Jeff Jarrett lately, but none of the he doesn't need to have a 35-minute blood and guts match or anything stupid like that.
Yeah, I'm going to say this right now before we get into our segment. SummerSlam was stacked. Pay-per-view was amazing.
Yeah.
I think All In is more stacked than SummerSlam.
I do too.
I'm going to say it. Now, is it going to be better? We'll see. AEW usually is good with pay-per-views because they can just focus on wrestling and nothing else. But it's about the execution, right? Who wins, what we're doing. So, but All In is, dude, I mean, name a match, man. I mean, every match is like, I'm like, yes,
everything is of importance.
Yes. And then obviously we're going to get Young Bucks versus the Acclaim versus FTR. It's going to be a triple header. I mean, we might even get the Patriarchy versus the House of Black versus the Bang Bang. I mean, we got some good matches that have stories to it. I'm excited. So I'm pumped.
Yeah, I'm a pump for All In. I'm concerned about All Out because other than
that's what happened. Yeah.
Other than Pac maybe having a title match that he should have gotten at Wembley, but he'll be waiting in Chicago for the international championship. Yeah. Other than that, we don't really know what they're doing at All Out. So we'll see what happens. But All In looks really good, and like I said before, it's better than last year's All Out, All In. And hopefully there's just nothing that happens this week or the day of the show that kind of sours it and gets people talking negative, because it's a solid card up and down. I
agree. All right. That was a good week of AEW. Next week's going to be a banger. So tune in.
Got predictions next week.
Subscribe. We got predictions, and we're leading up to All In. So Rampage, Collision, and Dynamite should be bangers of shows. So let's get into our segment. You already put it up. That's cool. That's not cool. We're going to give each other a couple situations, and we're going to decide if it's cool or not cool. And I just want to say, we had this segment way before Carlito returned. We
Oh,
are
yeah.
the reason why Carlito is in the judgment.
That's right.
Day today.
They watched our show and were like, hey, that's cool. So
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, they brought him back.
All right. Yes, they did. All right, let's do it. As always, Ryan goes first. What's the first one you got for me to decide if it's cool or not cool?
All right. Let me get my trusty notes ready. But
your notebook. You're like,
yeah, my notes app. All right. So cool or not cool? Shane McMahon showing up at AEW All In.
All right, I'm going to say that's cool.
That's cool.
Only because I love Shane O'Mac, and I would love for it to be, here comes the money.
Oh, yeah.
Can he take it? Do you think he owns that? Here comes the money.
I'm sure he does.
Money, money. But I think it's totally unnecessary. I still think behind the scenes and in front of the scenes, there's no point for Shane O'Mac to go. The nostalgia is gone. Vince McMahon is no longer with WWE, so that doesn't help. I heard a new theory. I don't know if it's Meltzer or somebody who was saying that Shane's there to get, or was it Vince Russo? Shane is there to get Vince McMahon to buy AEW. That's what they're doing. It has nothing to do with Shane. Shane's like the front piece, and that's why I don't know. But either way, I don't think he needs to be there. But if he appears at All In, I'm gonna be excited because I'm a wrestling fan. So it's not like I'm not gonna be jacked. So yeah, I'll say cool.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna say
cool.
I'm gonna say that too. I don't want it to happen. I don't think it should. I think it's completely unnecessary. And I think if Shane does come, he needs to be backstage and off camera. But if he's on screen and it depends on the kind of role that he has and it depends on what he's doing. But the fact that a McMahon is on another, the competitions show in air quotes, that when it's not owned by the WWE, that's big news. And it's going to be, that's going to, change the game for sure.
Yeah, agreed. You know where he could help? Backstage, meaning keeping positivity, keeping the everything up. You know what I mean? So morale and everything. I think he could
be like the talent relations guy. And none of all these locker room issues, they never happened under Vince. And I'm sure Shane was back there when all this stuff was going on. So let him be the one that kind of runs the locker room. I'd be down for that.
Me too. All right, you ready for mine?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. That's cool or that's not cool? Jack Perry filming and being in Taco Bell commercials moving forward. Cool or not cool?
That's cool.
They should that'd be mismarketing opportunity, man. Like that's perfect. Like bring him on for let his matches be sponsored by Taco Bell. Put him on Taco Bell commercials. Yeah, yes. Opportunity wasted. I mean, use the best of a bad situation where his promo got interrupted by a Taco Bell commercial. Everybody was laughing. Yeah, take advantage of it. Absolutely.
He could even do simple things as he's about to talk and eat it, and then they cut him off. Even things like that, and then it comes back and he's like, "Don't do that." It could be anything. And they could use it. And right now, Taco Bell's doing a new thing where they're bringing back food from decades. So they have food from the 80s, 90s, 2000s. He has TVs. He could easily be eating. He has the hair. His dad is Luke freaking Perry. They can dress him up as Dylan McKay, have him eating a 90s chalupa that they brought back, advertise that. It could work. All AEW fans are going to be in it. We'll get it. You know what I mean? The fact that he got cut off on a Taco Bell commercial, I think they should do it. I think
absolutely. And again, marketing, right? People will be like, "Who's that guy? Oh, he's a wrestler. Let me tune in and see who he is." Yeah.
I agree. I say that's cool. All right. I thought I'd start with a fun one.
That's a good one. That was a good one.
All right, you're up. What's your last one?
All right. Let's see. Which one do I want to do? Okay. Let's do. Okay, that's cool. That's not cool. Toni Storm reverting back to her old Toni Storm gimmick.
That's cool.
That's cool.
I'm over it. She doesn't even do it anymore. It turned into a lesbian role anyway. And Mariah May just burned all the clothes. So why can't she rejuvenate herself as that person? I like the old Toni Storm. So yeah, I say Let's keep it new. She's done with Mariah May. Let's move forward with it. Yeah, I say that's cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
That's not cool.
I don't want her to change. I love this character, and I feel like it's a gimmick that was created in AEW. It put Toni Storm on the map. It's one of the best things that has come out of AEW over the last year. And yeah, I don't want to see it end. And so I think let's evolve it, but we don't need to go back to the old green jacket, red jacket wearing Toni Storm. Let's evolve the timeless Toni Storm and keep that going.
Right.
Maybe turn her babyface and kind of see what you can do with her as a babyface.
Yeah, all right, I get that, but I just think this one's done. What else can she do? And that's what kind of created Mariah May. And let's move on. All right. Yeah. Let me see. That's cool. That's not cool. Let me see which one I want to do. All right, let's go. We got Swerve Strickland retires Bryan Danielson at Wembley. Is that going to be cool or not cool?
That's cool.
All right.
Now I don't think it's going to happen, but that's another. We'll do predictions next week, and that's a little tease. But I don't think it's going to happen.
I'm not saying you think it is. I'm just would it be cool if he did?
I think it would. Yeah, I think it would solidify his reign as one of the best because he retired one of the greatest to ever do it. Something that nobody else can say. And yeah, I think it would definitely help solidify his reign even more. But like I said, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think he's winning it All In.
Okay. Well, there goes the prediction. I'm going to say it's cool as well.
That's cool.
Not just for him, but for Bryan Danielson, who wanted to come back. He just made a whole tirade about how I'm never going back to WWE, even to be in the Hall of Fame. I'm like, yes, you are, you idiot. You're going to show back up, do a year run. So do I think he's really going to retire? I don't know. I think the only person ever to retire was Shawn Michaels, because I don't count that one random match he did like 20 years later. So other than Shawn, like what pro wrestler like said he was going to retire and retired? Like even guys who retired due to injury come back. Like who has retired? Like no one, right? I don't think anyone said like I'm retiring and then retired. They always have a match and come back. I mean, Ric Flair had the greatest retirement of all time and blew it and came back 100 times afterwards. So
Sting hasn't come back yet, but
okay, you're right.
But he's also
was his first retirement. Yes,
but he's also like 90 years old. So
he waited until
So it's not like it's not like he was 27 and he retired and he never came back. But I mean, that's really the only one I can think of. Maybe I don't know, maybe Kane, but he never like announced he was retiring. He just moved into he moved into politics. But
he's doing real great. Yeah,
something like that. But yeah, I think it would really help solidify Swerve's reign.
Hell yeah! And imagine that. That's just a cool thing to say.
And
Baron Corbin still brings that up about Kurt Angle.
Yeah,
and Kurt Angle didn't retire. He wrestled. He's wrestled in shows afterwards.
They're talking about him coming back to AEW.
That's what I mean. So that's what I'm saying. Nobody retires. Do I think Bryan Danielson can? 100%. But I think he's still going to come back to WWE. I don't buy into that. He left on such a high note with WWE, and that was Vince's WWE. There's no way he doesn't come back to want to go. Everybody wants to go to the Hall of Fame. They're all going back. Mark Henry said he'd never go back. He's sitting there front row. Big Show's going to go back.
His son's on there. Yeah.
Yes. Christian's going to go back. They're all going to, anyone who, Chris Jericho, anyone who's not in the Hall of Fame right now is going to go back. The end. Yeah. Whether they sign a Legends contract or whatever, they're going to go back.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. But yeah, and I think if Swerve's going to be a heel, going around touting that you retired Bryan Danielson is a good way to get some heat. So
yeah, he might be a babyface afterwards and then say it in a positive. Swerve, like I said,
he doesn't care.
He's the pro wrestling magician, man. I'm telling you, he needs to get a shirt. He's magic. He makes illusions. He's everything you want him to be, and he can be it. All right, you ready to get into it?
Yeah, we got it.
All right, our favorite weekly segment and yours. We got the most valuable dude or dudette and the least valuable dude or dudette, where we pick the person, not the one we hate the most, not the one we think is the worst, but the one who we thought was booked the most poorly throughout this week and booked the most awesomely this week in pro wrestling. As always, we're going to start with the least valuable, and as always, we start with the most valuable. Ryan, let's hear it. Who's your least valuable dude or dudette of the week?
I'm going to go. This one was hard, but I'm going to say the the entire AEW tag team division. Last week, the Acclaimed were my MVDs, but I'm not talking about the Acclaimed necessarily. I'm not talking about FTR. I'm not talking about the Young Bucks. I'm just saying that's all we have in the tag team division. That's all. Like who else is there? And it feels like just
Private Party.
Yeah, but they're and then you have the guys on ROH, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett doing their thing, but again, like there's no real. This was once AEW's biggest strength, and now it's like their weakest. The women's division is thriving. The trios division is decent. The main event scene is strong and stacked, and the mid card stuff is good. It's just the tag team division is really missing something, and so we have the Young Bucks, we have FTR, and we have the Acclaimed, and how many times have we seen FTR and the Young Bucks going at it over the last couple of years? Too many, and now we're adding the Acclaimed to that mix, and the Acclaimed is great. Don't get me wrong, but the AEW needs some new tag teams, and the fact that they're losing the Lucha Brothers, and the rumors are that they missed out on signing the Motor City Machine Guns, which could really add some more depth to their tag team division. Like they need to booster that division big time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, we do have the XMX collection, XM collection. I gotta learn how to say that name. Yeah, and they are cool. But yeah, other than that, we don't really got a lot. And actually, FTR hasn't been booked properly lately. They were Milo a little while ago. Young Bucks have been forgotten. Other than the Acclaimed and MXM collection, there's really nobody.
Really hasn't been anything. No. Yeah,
I agree.
And all the other good tag teams are in trios. You got the Ass Boys in the trios. You could do a team of Christian Cage and Luchasaurus as a tag team, or Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne as a tag team. Yeah. But everybody's involved in trios. House of Black is a trio, which you could separate them a little bit and make it, just add some depth. But
that's the problem with having a trios division.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, the tag team division's so low that Goldust is straight going to have a match just with whoever he can randomly find for the ROH tag. They're like, we're going to wrestle you, and whoever you find, Dustin, let us know. He's like, I'll find someone.
I got a partner. Yeah.
I'll find someone from Texas. So I don't know. All right, my LVD. You know what? I'm gonna make the first ever tie. Are you ready? I'm doing a tie.
Let's do it.
I've done the dudes before, but my least valuable dudes is a tie, and that tie is Chris Jericho and Hook. This shit is atrocious. Hook, I don't know if it's just because they kept him a mute the entire time for the first 2.5 years, and now he just doesn't know how to speak. But that thing was stupid. I know it was his delivery, but just everything. He delivered the last line okay, but still didn't even say that again. Jericho just seemed off. This gimmick is just awful. I just let Hook win, and hopefully that's the end of the learning tree, but I don't see that happening either, because it looks like Big Bill and the other dude are kind of trying to cook right now. I don't know. All right, unless they're going to add Taz into it. I'm assuming Taz is going to help him win, but Taz can't wrestle anymore. So what's the point of doing that? And honestly, I'm going to be honest with you here. I know a lot of people talked about how, you have to mention Taz. Taz is there. You have to mention Taz. I disagree. I don't think you had to mention Taz at all. Dude, Hook signed up. You think people's dads in the MMA world, like UFC, run into the octagon and get in the person's face after they kick their son's ass? Your son signed up for that. Who cares if Hook's getting his ass kicked by 4 guys? That's part of the game, bro. Like, if you can't handle it, then don't do it. So I don't think they should have ever involved Taz if they didn't. I agree with that. Physical at all. Just let him announce. Why does he have to constantly say it's his son? Just announce. When I coach my son at soccer, I don't sit there and go, that's my son and he needs to do. I coach him just like I do everyone else. They are all equals on that field. I'm not, when he's in my class, he ain't my son. He's just Mason, and he calls me Mr. Denton. He doesn't call me dad. You know what I mean? Like, it's a different world. I don't think Taz should even involve it. This thing's a hot mess. I want it to end. This is the only match I am not looking for.
And I really hope it's on the pre-show. Like, put it on the All In, buy-in, or 0 hour, whatever. But put it there, because that's where it belongs. And we got to get and like I said, Hook is like, if you booked him right, Hook could be a star. If Hook went to 100%. NXT, he could be a star, and he would be money there. and so they have money in their pockets. But he's been there for 3 years, 4 years now, and all he has done is wrestle for this title that's not even a real title in AEW. Like put him in the mid card, put him in the TNT title picture, put him in the the Continental tournament. Put him like, let's see what Hook can really do. So
I agree.
Yeah, get him out of this FTW stuff. Like, let's get rid of that belt too.
Yeah, I agree. All right, the positives ended right. Who's your MVD? Let's hear it.
Oh man, I'm going Swerve Strickland. I mean, this week was, the match, like you said before, the match with Ishii on Collision was fantastic. It was a fantastic match. I didn't like the opponent, but it was a fantastic match. And then the stuff at the end of Dynamite this week where, he attacks, he beat the hell out of Wheeler Yuta, and then he beats the snot out of Bryan Danielson, and he does the mock yes thing, turning sort of turning heel in this build for All In. I mean, this was like Swerve has been carrying AEW for a while now, and he's starting to really come into his own as AEW champion. And yeah, he's had a kind of a lackluster, not so much a lackluster run as champion, but he hasn't been booked to feel important as the champion.
Yeah.
And now I feel like he's feeling super important right now, and I'm really digging everything that he did this week. So Swerve Strickland is my MVD.
Great pick. It was going to be mine, so I'm going to pick a different one. Fantastic. I always pick runner-ups. Like I said, Swerve right now is the
on
best
another level
right now in the biz. Yeah, he is. I'm going to surprise you. I am going to do another tie.
Go for it.
My most valuable dudes are going to be Claudio and Okada. I like what they are doing. I like it a lot. I liked Claudio's promos on him. I think it was Collision, if I'm correct. Yes, it was that he wanted his belt. This is a match I didn't even want, that I didn't know I wanted, that I do want. And now it's one of the most matches I'm looking forward to. I don't think it's going to happen on All In, right? Or is it at All In? I think it is at All In.
Yeah, it's happening.
Are they booking it for? Yeah. Like,
as far as we know. Yeah.
I am. Because I caught. But their promo, their face-to-face, I thought was awesome. Okada is so flippin' amazing. It just shows that if you use a wrestler from Japan who doesn't speak great English and you know how to use him, it's effective. You know what I mean? WWE kind of finally got there with Shinsuke, where he was doing like the backstage things, but you can only do that so long. You know what I mean? You kind of need like a different kind of, but Okada just mocking Claudio, and like he does that a lot with everything, with his humor and his I'm loving it. I dug it. And Claudio and Okada, big dudes, beefy dudes, muscular guys, can both go in the ring fighting for the international title. I think this is like, this has me getting chills. They're multiplying. So my MVD, since I can't pick Swerve, Okada and Claudio, good on them.
Yeah,
I think.
I like everything they did, and the match is actually next week on Dynamite.
It isn't. That's what I thought.
It's a Dynamite. It's the first Dynamite that's going to be filmed in London. So next week's episode's in London. That's what it is. So I just went back and looked, but it's next week on Dynamite in Europe. And Claudio said he's going to make his title shot count, and he also dropped the Jay-Z line saying, "You'll have 99 problems, Okada, and this bitch ain't one." So
it was good.
It was a good line. Everything was great. That's a solid pick. Those were. Yeah, Swerve or Claudio and Okada. Okada's coming into his own since he's been in AEW, and again, he's separated from the elite, so now he can really be himself. So.
Yeah, he deserves the money he got, but he wasn't worth it because I don't think he's bringing in the seats. But that dude has earned every cent he does.
Oh yeah, he's great.
He is good. He needs a new finisher, but he is good. Honorable mentions really quick before we end. Thunder Rosa, Deonna Purrazzo.
Oh yeah. Great.
Non-title and you girls, and you deserve to be. That match should have been in Wembley. Should have 100%. Tony Khan should have done that. He's booking those women properly. Should have
move Jericho and Hook off and put them on. Like, there you go. Switch them out.
Hi guys. Oh god, I can't even
It's awful.
And he's like, if everyone hates it, it's working. No, dude, there's different kind of hates. You're like, go home away from me. First time ever. That's sad. Jericho's long career. Dang.
Yeah.
Dang. All right. Well, that's it. That's our AEW edition, y'all. We'll be excited for next week's. Like we said, it's the build to All In. And then also, we're probably going to have a jam-pack. If you also watch our WWE show at WWE, SmackDown's done. I haven't watched it yet. I'm excited to see it. We got probably another booming Raw with an NXT. They're building up to Bash in Berlin. Good stuff. Great time to be a wrestling fan.
Absolutely.
As always, thank you all for tuning in, for listening, for giving us appreciation. Our last video, WWE video, is kicking off right now, so make sure to like and comment. Same time, if you dig my stuff, HBD Denton, I'm posted all the time. I didn't post today just because I'm trying to let my other ones cook a little bit, but I've been doing all right, but we're doing our damn thing. So if you just want to hear me talk, check that out. And as always, I am with the man with the plan, Mr.
Ryan Enjoys Wrestling. All the social medias, go follow me. I'm posting regularly again. Some of my videos are starting to take off right now too, so I'm gonna enjoy it while I can, because the next one I do will get 50 views. But hit us up on TikTok at 2 Dudes with Attitudes, on X at 2 Dudes PC, and then keep subscribing to the YouTube. We're blowing up I think we're at 1,220 now, or 1,224 or something like that. So we're climbing up there, and if you're listening to us on audio, appreciate all the love and support. Go leave us a 5-star rating and review.
Please.
Let us crack these algorithm codes, and let's not be the best unknown podcast out there anymore. Let's be the best known podcast out there. So can't do it without your help. So it's our year. It's the year of the dudes.
Yes. Wolfpack, 2 dudes. We out.
2 dudes with attitudes, let's go. It's the 2 dudes and our attitudes, ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. We're Ryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. The 5-star broadcast shit, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E. The 2 dudes with the attitudes that bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on, time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it poppin'.